Hey guys, what should you do if you like a girl, but she has a boyfriend? In this video, we're going to talk about the pros, the cons, the risks, and what to do. So just before we go into the pros, cons, risks, and what to do, let's talk about the big picture when she says she has a boyfriend. Now, there's two lines of thought here. There's one where you've just met the girl and she said she has a boyfriend, and then there's one where you already know the girl and you might even know for sure that she has a boyfriend. So first of all, let's just talk about the first part where you just met her and she says she has a boyfriend. Realize that oftentimes women get approached by really aggressive or creepy guys, and the "I have a boyfriend" rejection line is the safest to use because a lot of guys will just walk away at that point because it's disrespectful, or they might think it's disrespectful to pursue a girl who does already have a boyfriend. And it's also a kinder way of letting a guy down if you don't really like him, because what guy, come on guys, would you really want to hear, well, you think you want to hear this, but you don't. You don't want to hear, look, I'm just not attracted to you. So it's sometimes a lot kinder for a girl to just say, look, I've got a boyfriend. It's also a little bit of a way of testing you to see what your gumption is for moving forward. Like, do you just cut and run, or can you move past those barriers? So if she legit has a boyfriend, that's one thing. But if she actually doesn't have a boyfriend, she might, as I said, just be trying to reject you. So it's always a good idea, if you really are attracted to the girl and you like her, then in this situation to push past a little bit to find out more. And then we'll go into a little bit more detail about that later in the video. And of course, if you already know her because you work with her or she's in your social circle, then you might know that she really does have a boyfriend. The other thing you want to remember, big picture, is that most relationships fail. I mean, the divorce rate is probably 70-something% at this point in time. And most of those divorces are instigated by women, which means that typically women get discontent in relationships sooner than men do. Not in all cases, of course, but this means that there's potential that she might be with a boyfriend, but she's not happy in that relationship with him. And you'll be able to tell if that's kind of the case a little bit by your interaction with her. So that's why, even though she might say she has a boyfriend, and even if she really does have a boyfriend, it's still okay to engage a little bit before you're actually crossing lines that you might not be comfortable with, or she might not be comfortable with. The other thing is that her boyfriend might not be happy with her. So she might not be happy in the relationship, but it also might be that he's not that happy. So if you're able to take her off his hands, you might actually be doing him a favor. And you don't know that unless you start talking to her. All right, now let's go through the pros and cons. So the first pro is that because it's such an effective rejection tactic, most men end up walking away. That means there's actually less competition for this girl. So what you can do is to continue to engage with her in a more innocent way that's non-threatening to her or to her relationship, to find out more about what her situation is really like. And even if you already know her and you know she's in a relationship, as I said before, she might not be happy, which means you might give her sort of the carrot to get out of that relationship and explore something maybe with you or maybe with somebody else, because maybe the guy she's with is just not the right guy for her. You might be doing both of them a favor if you just explore a little bit and find out more about what the situation is with her. And then the third point for the pros is that she has friends. So if you're attracted to a girl, whatever hotness level she is, she probably has friends who are of a similar attractiveness level. And so if you can befriend her, then I know you don't like the friend zone, but we'll get into that again later. If you can get into her circle, then you might be able to meet other hot single friends that she has. So those are the pros. Now, the cons. Okay, guys, there's always going to be the cons and the scammers, but that's not what we're talking about here. In this instance, we're talking about the negatives, the potential negatives of pursuing a girl who says she's got a boyfriend. If she really does have a boyfriend and she's happy in that relationship, she's going to look at you like you are a creepy guy, maybe too aggressive, maybe lacking values. She's not going to think very highly of you, which is why you need to be really careful about how you approach this. The next thing is that if she isn't happy in her relationship and she does pursue something with you, you are going to have to always wonder, is she a cheater? Because if she'll do to him what she just did, then she'll probably do to you. Sometimes. Maybe he's not gaming his girl anymore, or maybe he's the kind of lacking in the qualities it takes to hang on to a girl. So if that's the case and you can do that for her, then she might stay with you, but she might not. She might be the kind of girl who's just leveling up and swinging to the next branch. So that's something that you're not going to know until you get further down the road with her, if she does leave him for you. And then the third thing, and possibly the most important, is that if she has a boyfriend and she starts something up with you, he could harm you. He could do bodily harm. Yes, people do get shot in these instances, as I've been told, and it's not pretty. So there is the risk of getting hurt physically, never mind emotionally. So you have to keep that in mind. So what should you do? First of all, you're going to ask exploratory questions, and I'll give you some of those questions later in the video, to find out where her relationship is really at and how happy she is in that relationship. The next thing is you need to tell her you're attracted to her. So you just want to be really nonchalant, matter of fact about it, and then let it go, because you don't want to put pressure on her until you find out more. Well, you never want to put pressure on her, but you want to find out more about her situation again before you can know how to advance your seduction, if you're going to. And then the next thing is don't wait, bait. So what I mean by that is you are going to have a life that's interesting, because that's super attractive to women and it makes you intriguing. It's attractive to everyone. When people seek you out because you're an interesting person, that's attractive, and women can't help but be seduced by that if there's a chance, and especially if she's not happy where she's already at. So don't wait, bait. Go out and have a life and be interesting, and don't tell her, but let her find that out through various sources. And then the next thing is never diss her boyfriend, because that just shows insecurity and that you judge her for making a poor decision. So never disrespect the boyfriend. There are kind of ways around this, but it takes a lot of practice and it's a bit tricky, but just remember, never diss the boyfriend. And that brings me to the next point, is don't be an emotional tampon for her. You need to not be her support system, because then she has what she needs at home and you're providing the backup, and there's no reason to leave what she's got for you. So you just don't be her girlfriend who is going to be the shoulder she cries on for her woes with her boyfriend or anything else in life, really. You need to be intriguing and attractive, but if she wants more than that, she's going to have to invest more. If she gets everything she needs from you and gets the rest from her boyfriend, then you're just going to be in the friend zone forever after. So what are some of the exploratory questions you can ask a girl who has a boyfriend? Of course, the first question is, do you really have a boyfriend? And then you can ask, are you happy with him? How long have you been together? When was the last time he really made you belly laugh? Does he still treat you special? Did he ever treat you special? And of course, the final one, depending on how all of this goes, does your boyfriend let you have male friends? And I got it from Matt Cross, so credit where credit is due. And it's a good one because it challenges her to have her own independence, right? So if you say, does he let you have a boyfriend? I mean, she's going to want to be like, I can do what I want. Well, maybe not like that. So these are discovery questions, so you can kind of find out where she's at with him and how she feels about the relationship, and she will reveal a little bit more about the situation as you talk with her. And the key is that depending on her reaction will determine just how playful, teasing, flirty you're going to be about the interaction. But you should keep some kind of flirt level in there, even just a little bit, because if you don't have sexual tension at all, it's just friend zone. And if you're accepting of the friend zone and you just want to get to her friends, then that's one thing. But if you really like this girl and you want to have a chance of not being permanently in the friend zone, then you need to keep the sexual tension in the interaction, even if it's really subtle. And of course, you have to decide what your value system says about how far to go with a girl who already does have a boyfriend. My rule of thumb is that if she is happy in her relationship, don't do it to her, don't do it to the guy she's with. Let that play out, and if she's got your number, she'll contact you when she's not with him anymore if that happens. That's just my opinion, but you have to go with your own value system. And a final question for you would be, do you usually go for unavailable women? And do watch this next video coming up. So thanks so much, and I'll see you in the next video.